Okay, let's see if this works or not. I am Chastity White Rose, and I am using a headset that I bought at GameStop actually. It has a built-in microphone, and the purpose of that is for you to be able to hear my voice as I explain what's happening. So now, I have several different versions. I mean, I have a lot of things here. I'm running Ubuntu Linux here. Yeah, this is some Allegro 4 documentation because I was using an older version of Allegro for an experiment. And then I have some cool things here, like I have a little Pac-Man demo which I haven't done much with. I'm just going to show you that real quick because it's fun. See that? I made that. I haven't done any work on it for a while, but I just have a giant Pac-Man that I can sort of just move across the screen. See, I can move it left or right, but I can move it up, down, I can just kind of do stuff. Anyway, that was just for a little fun project. So here is why I love Ubuntu for programming. I'm going to show you something. Now, here we have this is the development folder for Chaste, my game that will soon be released on Steam. Now I'm going to show you, here's what happens. So, well, actually, let me back up. Notice how when I right-click, open in terminal, there is a right-click menu option to open a folder in the terminal. See, people, this is why I love Linux. It's superior. Okay, so when I type make, look at this. Ooh, you see that? See how fast that was? And then we have the title screen for Chaste here. And see, this is my game that I made. Now, it shows my email address, shows my link to my GitHub repository, has some information. Okay, so I press enter, and here I am. Check this out. You see this? I can move this. This is a long boy, as my roommate River calls it. Yeah, and so I can just sort of like totally move things here. You see what I'm doing here? You see that? Yeah. And does anybody who plays Tetris see what I'm doing here? I am doing a mechanical T-spin. This works in modern Tetris games, but it's super easy with Chaste. And notice the order the pieces come in. My game Chaste was specifically designed for the purpose of doing the mechanical T-spin. That's what it started out as being for, and I even have the score to match it. It actually has a score system. So 1,200 points for the first one, and then and notice how the pieces, they only move when I press it. So look at this. See this? Move it down. Nope, I can move it back up. Oh, this is fun. See why my game is fun. Okay, anyway, so then there's another one of those. And then what we're going to do is place another one. So remember, it was 1,200 points for the first T-spin. Now it's 3,000 points because the second one, the back-to-back T-spin, is 1,800 points. So T-spins are extremely high scoring. So what I'm going to do, though, I'm going to show you the replay. The purpose of this video is to show you the replay feature of Chaste. Chaste has a replay feature, but not everybody knows how to use it. So let me show you something. So this is the file 800iMoveLog.txt. There are some other files here that I don't use, but anyway, so I'm going to paste this file, and then I'm going to remove the 800 part. We're just going to rename this file to iMoveLog.txt. So I'm going to do that, and then watch what happens here. Let's go back to the terminal. Oh, and before I want to show you, I'm going to scroll up in my terminal here, and I'll show you something. Let's go back up. Notice how it's keeping track of every single key press. Well, that's the code currently. It prints to the console every key pressed. I could remove that in a future version if I wanted, but before that, notices that it loads some fonts. The fonts are PNG files. They're all just plain bitmaps compressed as PNG files. And notice how it says failed to open input file, failed iMoveLog.txt. Says this is not an error. It just means input is keyboard only. Okay. So I told it to say that. I wrote the code for the entire game. So notice this. Notice it, Raylib, this is the compiling command right here. You know, gcc wall stdc999 pedantic main.c o main l raylib l opengl lm. Wait a minute. Why did oh yeah, that's right. Because that's what's required on this system. That's why. Okay, but see, notice that when I typed to make, all that happened. Well, let me just show you something. Let me clear the screen, and we're going to do cat makefile. That is my makefile right there. You see that? That's my makefile. So the first rule is raylib underscore Linux. So every time I type make, it just runs that big, long, complicated command and compiles and runs the code. So we're going to do it again this time. So let's do this. Technically, I could have just run the executable again, but whatever. So now here's the title screen. But now when I hit enter, you see that? Do you see what's happening here? That file that I copied over, iMoveLog.txt, that is being read. The program is reading the commands from that file. And so the idea here is that I actually typed all these commands before. I'm considering every key press a command because that's what it is in my game. So basically this is me playing, but the key presses were stored, and then it was basically in such a way that by then renaming the file, then it reads the commands and does a replay. So every gameplay, if you play the game, everything you do, including mistakes, everything you do will be recorded. So as you see, we're already at over 100 lines. And do you know why it's that fast? That's because my game runs at 60 frames per second. So I hope that OBS is configured to record this correctly. But anyway, the point is that this is how I make my videos, because I'm not pressing the keys that fast, but the replay is that fast. That's the idea, because it runs at the full 60 frames per second. So this is one of the unique features. Oh, let me move my cursor here. Let me get that out of the way. This is one of the features here where it will, it'll keep doing that until it reaches about 800 lines, and then it will stop. That's because when the file is over, when it reaches the end of the file, it will stop reading the commands. And this is something you can't do in other games. In fact, in most Tetris games, reading the keys for going, right, left, or rotating, or whatever, would not work because the game has speed, and the increasing levels increases the speed, meaning that you would not have the synchronization between the speed at which it was reading the key presses and all that. I mean, but that's complicated stuff. But you see how the stacking is super fast, and yet it's perfectly done. It looks crazy, but the entire point is to set up T-spins. It's actually really impressive that I pulled such a thing off, in fact. I hope it works out. Yeah, because, I hope this video records correctly, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to explain the way my game works. Now, this game, Chaste, is going to be available on June 6, 2022 on Steam. That's my set release date, so hopefully everything goes well as I try to officially release it. But the game is already uploaded to Steam. Plus, it's available for free on my GitHub, and I can explain more on that later, I suppose. But I'm going to let this entire replay finish, and the reason for that is because then my game lets me play after the replay finishes. But then I will show you a very unique feature to my game. And notice what it says there at the very bottom is that it says you can press the dot key to save the game at any time, and then press comma to reload to the previously saved state. So that's part of the secret to how I get perfect play, is it lets me fix my mistakes. It's actually very genius. So I probably just need to let it go for another 2 or 3 minutes, and then it will finish, because we're approaching 500 lines soon. And I want to have a video eventually where it goes to 1,000 lines is what I want to do. But as you see, the game works flawlessly. It works amazingly. Now, there is one thing that my game cannot do. It cannot do T-spin triples, and it can't do like the fancy L spins and S spins and all the things that modern Tetris games can do, because if I added that feature, first of all, it would no longer fit in with the aesthetic, the retro Game Boy style Tetris like I wanted it to in the first place. Second of all, that would add huge complicated lines to my code. I even tried to add a separate function for that feature, but then it was not working. The rotations were not working very well, and the SRS rotations don't mathematically make very much sense to me, and I wasn't able to find help on it. But I'm not trying to make a clone of modern Tetris games. I was trying to make a clone of Game Boy Tetris, but with my own simple style graphics. Everything is according to modern guideline colors, of course. If you look at the color of the blocks, they're just made of those standard colors, and yet everything else is simple. Notice the pixelated fonts. That was part of it. My game loads image files as fonts, and how I got those fonts is a whole nother story, but they're the same fonts that were included in certain graphics modes in DOS. So it's designed to be pixely, it's designed to be retro, it's designed to be old. That's what my game is meant for. So everything just running in a 1280 by 720 size window, and yet my screen resolution is high definition. It's 1920 by 1080 pixels. So that hopefully I'll get a good video recording out of this, because that would be nice. I want this video to turn out well. So once it stops playing, I'm going to take over myself, and I have to do things carefully. I'm just waiting for it to finish, but I wanted to have a really, really nice demo, because some of my demos, people have seen them, but they don't understand them. So I wanted to do a little bit of audio recording and show this off in a video so that people can understand what's happening. Okay, now it says end of file reach. Now use keyboard input. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press dot. Game saved at move 23793. Now check this out. Check this out. See how I can do this? I can put these down here, and I can like mess everything up. I can totally do that. Yeah, that's whack. I'm just fooling around in case you can't tell. Notice, but remember I saved the game, meaning I can press comma. See? Game loaded at move 23793. You might not be able to see it because the font's kind of small, but that's what it says. So see, no matter what I do, I can reload to that point. So here's what I'm going to do. The stacking style that it was using, and it got up to 800 lines, was my own sort of invented style. So I know how to play it because I invented this particular style of stacking. And I'm going to save again. What I do is, mistakes are actually very common in this play style. And this style does not really work with most guideline Tetris games. It can, but it doesn't very often work. So, okay, I'm going to do some crazy stuff here. And you see how I move these down, and because there's no gravity, I can just move it to the right. And then they only lock when I press down there. You see how that works? It's actually working. And I save frequently, and then I reload if I make a mistake. So it's kind of interesting. So I press comma and reload to the previous time. So basically, this allows me to fix the mistakes that I have made while playing the game. So here I'm going to do a T-spin. Then, before placing that Z block, I'm going to press C, switch to my held eyepiece, and I'm going to move that down. And why am I clearing a Tetris there? Because every so often with this style, you have to clear a Tetris. It's just the way it works because the stat gets a little bit higher each time. Okay, so now that I've lowered the stack, you see that the orange-green things there on the left, I'll be able to continue that simply because of the fact that I lowered the stack. By clearing lines, it lowers the stack on both sides, obviously. So here's the key, is that I'm going to switch now to the Z piece and put the I piece I just got back in hold. And then I'm going to save the game here. Now you'll see this is actually a very slow process, and that's because everything's carefully calculated. So for example, look at this. What if I made a mistake intentionally, which is a weird thing to do. But now I'm going to press comma, and we're going to reload to before I made the mistake. This is the beauty of Chaste. It's very forgiving, lets you back up and fix your mistakes. Now, what happens if you make a mistake past the point at which you had, how do I speak this? I'm a good programmer, but a horrible English speaker. Okay, so what if you save a game after you've made a mistake by pressing dot? Well, that means that your option is to look at the oMoveLog file that saves your moves, and then delete some characters from the tail end of that file until you delete the portion of the file where you made the mistake. That's what you have to do. Now, that's a little bit complicated for some people, so most people will probably not even attempt to do something like that, but it can be done, and that's kind of the point. Now, you might wonder, now this stacking style is obviously based off of ST stacking, and I can do ST stacking as well. That's not even a problem. It's not hard to do. But the key here is that the fact that the pieces spawn in the center of the screen and the fact that there's no gravity means you have plenty of time to leave them there as well, makes this turn out to be kind of a convenient style of stacking. Okay, now I'm going to try something here. I'm going to do something really stupid and see if it works out for me. Okay, look at that. Okay, then we're going to place this. And then, see, I'm going to put that down there. Now, is that funny or what? Okay, yeah, that's actually pretty funny, in my opinion, because I'm a psycho. Yeah, so now I have these two O blocks. So I'm going to put that O block there. We're going to put that there. We're going to put that there. Then we're going to put that there. Then we're going to clear this T-spin. That's just funny. Like, that's super funny. And now we're going to switch to the held, well, actually, I'm just going to put the Z piece down and see, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try something. See, playing my game is actually fun because you get to carefully calculate the way you want. Oh, I think I may have made a mistake. I think I may have. Okay, let me reload. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to switch to this O piece. Now we're going to save. And I need to plan this out differently because there's not enough room, see, on the side there to do, yeah, there's not enough room on the side there to place the orange and green blocks. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save this because I think this will work. I'm going to place that there. Then we're going to do the T-spin. And then you see, I'm going to, before placing the Z block, I'm going to put that down and clear Tetris and lower the stack, you see. And then here's where it gets a little bit funky, is I'm going to put that there. Then we're going to slide this O block down there. You see how cool this is? Like, this is just a really cool stacking style. So, yeah. And because my goal is to try to get to 900 lines. Okay, now you see this? Now I need to switch to the held Z piece. And then, okay, yeah, I'm going to need to switch to the T piece. And then you see how this works. Ho ho ho, we got blue, we got yellow. You see how this works? This is just flawless, people. Now, here's the beauty of this. I can actually place this down here, and we're going to lower the stack. Lowering the stack makes it just a little bit easier to avoid doing mistakes, and it's kind of a personal preference thing of what I feel at the time about how high do I want the stack to be. You know, actually, let me rewind. Okay, I'm going to rewind that and do that, a little replay of that. See that? Switch, spin. T-spins are amazing. I love doing T-spins. So technically, I'm using a modern Tetris feature because I'm doing T-spins. Although it's possible to play Chaste clearing only Tetrises. That's actually a possible thing to do, which can actually be quite fun sometimes. Anyway, let's see here. Let's continue. Let me just keep continuing here. Okay. This is just fun. See, my videos get kind of long. Okay, now we have an eyepiece, but the stack's lower. I can keep the eyepiece in hold, and I can keep it in hold there for a while, actually. This is actually pretty cool. Okay, let's see here. I don't know why I like to put the yellow pieces on the right-most portion of the screen. I don't know why I do that. I just find it fun for some reason. I'm just kind of weird that way. I don't even know. Okay, let's see here. Okay. I'm going to put that there. Then I'm going to clear this. Oh, and you see what's happening here? I'm going to show you something. See, if I place the Z piece here, then I don't have a way to move the O piece or the yellow piece into that spot. So instead, that means that I'm going to switch to the I piece. Then we have our blue piece next. I'm going to put this piece here. Then I'm going to put this one here. Okay, then we're going to continue the little pattern here. Okay, so let's see here. Now what we have is we have a Z piece and we've got the T piece. You see? The pattern still continues. It's actually quite magical. And we're keeping our stack fairly low. It's amazing that this works at all, and yet I'm proving it with a video demonstration that it works. And I actually have to go to work soon. It's 4:03 my time, and around 5 o'clock I actually have to start walking to GameStop because I work at GameStop, but I also work in the Hy-Vee floral department. Okay, now here you might notice something. You might noticing that the stack on the right is getting a little bit low. This can be a problem, and I'm going to show you a little trick. Now this is hard to pull off, but it's made easier because of a simple little fact. I have the ability to go back and fix mistakes. So this is going to make this little trick a little bit easier. I may have to save and reload a few times just to get this right. But I have a certain plan. Okay, so see how this T block here, I could use it to make a T-spin, but I want to add it to this. Occasionally there will be resets. Now, if you're familiar with ST stacking, you may realize what a reset is. Now, here's an interesting trick. Notice that we used a T piece and a Z piece, but the pieces are not exactly balanced. It doesn't have that nice flat surface that allows you to place the blue and the yellow. I'm just going to call them by the color because I can't even think what their names are at this point. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save, and then I'm going to place this here. Then we're going to do this here. And then we also need to be careful here about how we do this. But we're going to do this, and then this, of course. And then here's where it gets interesting. We're going to save. We're going to place this right here. Then we're going to place this T-piece here. See how we have that flat surface once again? That's the beauty of it. It really works. So now I have a really awkward situation with the Z-piece I can't use right now. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to okay, I'm going to think of something. Actually, I'm thinking of a plan here. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch to the eyepiece here. We're going to put that on the right. Then we're going to put this here. And then I'm going to then I'm going to put this extra Z piece, because see, I'm not going to need a Z piece. A Z piece comes for every T piece. So now this is getting really strange, very strange indeed, in fact. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, this is getting messy. Okay, let's try this. All right, now I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to place that down. You see that? It actually works. Even though it was completely bizarre and stupid looking, it actually worked. I pulled the trick off. So now we have this bizarre thing happening here. I have an extra S piece that I don't really know what to do with. What am I going to do with that? I don't even know. Okay, so let's do that. Then let's do a switch. Let's try putting that there. And then let's try that there. Oh, how weird. It's gonna work. You see? You see how that works? Oh, oh, this is just dumb. Like, this is actually really crazy. Okay. But I may, you see, I may have put myself into a position that I can't get out of here. Wait a minute, let me, oh yeah, I can't go above the screen. Yeah, I see, here's the problem. I got myself into a position that I can no longer get out of. You see how that is? Because now there's not enough room on the left side to continue the pattern. So I run into a little bit of a problem. So this is an example of how you can get yourself into a jam. But can I really feel bad about the fact that I got over 800 lines? No, I can't. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this video right now, and maybe I'll try another time because I can always just start again by reloading the iMoveLog file. But also the purpose of this was to show you the features of my game that are unique and do not exist in other games of Tetris style. Okay, so we're going to close the program. I'm going to exit the terminal. Then I'm going to go back to OBS. And then I'm going to stop recording. I hope somebody enjoys this amazing video.